But at this point, get them all out. And later, you'll get a chance to evaluate the ideas. I think sometimes we get confused with brainstorming and we think like, oh, you don't want to evaluate the ideas. But the key word is yet. You do want to evaluate the ideas at some point, right? Just not yet. So we're going to hold off on that, and then you'll get to evaluate them soon. Sound good? Go. What ideas do you have? Write them down. One of the things that happens as you're generating ideas is at a certain point, your ideas kind of stop coming. Did anybody get to that point yet? Okay, so the way to deal with that is to do a different technique, to try something new. So on your table you have some cards, and I want you to just use the cards as sparks.
The value of innovation and creativity within an organization, it's such a difficult thing for so many organizations to get a grasp of, and Amy's message that if you don't get creative, you're going to become irrelevant.
Well, I love the idea that teams are our #1 source of creativity. I've served on a lot of teams, but I hadn't really thought of it that way, and I love the way that she brought that out.
We got 143 ideas on this problem in 7 minutes. Do you see why it might be worth spending more than 30 seconds on a brainstorm? Okay, of these 147, what did we say, 143? 143, what if only 10% of those were good? Were worth even looking at? 14, like that's worth it, right? One of those ideas might be, make a huge difference to this problem you're trying to solve. This won't happen unless you are deliberate about creativity.
She has so many good insights about the deliberate nature of creativity. I loved her logic of how she laid things out, but I also was really excited by everything she had to say, and honestly, I was just itching to want to work with her on some creative projects.
You can tell she's creative, which makes then her message to be a little bit more authentic.
We have all been part of the 30-second brainstorm, and the group of people who don't listen to your ideas, and then you're afraid to offer any suggestions. And the way she put it into perspective, I think she could go into any company and help them expand on their 30-second brainstorm. Amy made me feel confident that she knows her stuff when it comes to helping teams work together.
So in my research, what I found is there are 3 elements that deliberate creative teams have that these teams don't. The first is having a clear shared purpose. Why is it you get together on a regular basis? What is the work you're doing? Why does that work matter? As the team leader, you might have a very clear sense of that purpose, but the question is, does everybody on the team know that and understand that? Study after study shows that high-performing teams are crystal clear about their purpose.
I could resonate with her. I've been in bad brainstormings, I've been in great brainstormings, and it's fun to hear somebody else's take on the bad brainstorm. I like Amy's energy. She was very relatable, and I felt that I'd want to sit down with her and talk more about that and compare notes on brainstorming. Some of the good stories and some of the horror stories of brainstorming.
If you are not willing or able to be creative, you will slowly become irrelevant and wither away. Be deliberate to be creative.